The little girl sat alone at the school gate, her tiny hands clutching her worn backpack, eyes fixed on the ground as laughter echoed from the playground. No one noticed her, no one called her name, and the weight of loneliness seemed almost too heavy for someone so small. She had dreams, but dreams felt distant when no one cared to see her, just when it seemed her day would pass like any other. A sleek black car rolled to a stop nearby. Out stepped a man in a tailored suit, his presence commanding yet gentle, a millionaire CEO known for turning lives around. But why would someone so successful care about a lonely girl sitting by herself? As he approached, curiosity mixed with disbelief filled her eyes. Would this stranger really see her? Not as a child to pity, but as someone with potential. What happened next would change her life in ways she never imagined. Opening doors that had always seemed locked, in the next moments. A simple conversation, a single act of kindness, and an unexpected opportunity would set the stage for a journey of hope, courage, and life-changing decisions. And yet, the story was just beginning. The girl's heart raced as the man knelt down to her level, a warm smile on his face. "Hi there," he said softly. "What's your name?" She hesitated, unsure if anyone really cared to know. Most adults had walked past her without a glance, but something in his eyes made her feel seen for the first time in a long time. Her name came out in a whisper, almost lost in the wind. The CEO nodded, as if hearing her name made all the difference. "I'm Daniel," he said, extending his hand. "I like to meet new friends." She looked at his hand, hesitant, yet curiosity tugged at her. Something about him felt different, like he didn't just notice her, it mattered that he did. As they talked, the girl's story began to spill out in fragments, her mother working double shifts, the empty apartment they called home, the dreams she kept tucked away in a notebook. Daniel listened quietly, never interrupting, his gaze steady and patient. But even as a spark of hope flickered, tension lingered. Who really was this man? And why did he appear here, of all places, at this exact moment? The girl sensed there was more to this encounter than just kindness, a secret waiting to unfold. And her life was about to take a turn she could never have predicted. Daniel didn't just stop at introductions. He asked gentle questions, curious about her favorite subjects, the little dreams she whispered to herself at night, and even the small victories she had at school. The girl, whose name was Mia, found herself opening up in ways she hadn't with anyone in a long time. Her voice, timid at first, grew stronger as she described her love for drawing and the stories she imagined in her mind. Meanwhile, Daniel's assistant, waiting in the car, watched closely. Sensing that this was no ordinary encounter, Daniel rarely stopped for chance meetings. And yet, here he was, completely absorbed in a little girl's world. The tension wasn't just in Mia's uncertainty, it was in the questions swirling around Daniel too. Why did he feel compelled to help her? What opportunity was he really offering? And would it be safe? Back at school, other children noticed Mia talking to the man. Whispers started, curious glances followed, and some even felt envy. Subplots began to form, a jealous classmate plotting to get attention, a teacher wondering why an outsider seemed so interested, and Mia herself caught between hope and fear. Every step forward seemed to carry the weight of something bigger, something that could change her life but also hold unexpected challenges she hadn't imagined. Days passed, but Mia couldn't stop thinking about Daniel's visit. Every time she sat in class, her mind wandered back to his kind eyes, the way he seemed to believe in her when no one else had. But with that hope came fear. What if it had all been a fleeting moment? What if he never returned? At home, her mother noticed a change in Mia, a new spark in her eyes, yet she couldn't understand where it came from. Work and bills left little room for wonder, but she sensed something unusual was happening. Meanwhile, Daniel was already taking steps behind the scenes, quietly researching ways to support her talent, weighing risks, and planning the opportunity he wanted to offer. The stakes were high. A wrong move could crush the fragile hope Mia had begun to nurture. At school, whispers grew louder. Some students were curious, others jealous. Teachers exchanged looks, unsure what to make of the sudden attention on a girl who had always been invisible. Rumors started to swirl, making Mia nervous, but also sharpening her determination to prove herself. One afternoon, Daniel appeared again, this time with a small envelope in his hand. Mia's heart pounded as he approached. What was inside it? An opportunity, a test, or something more complicated than she could imagine? The air was thick with anticipation, and every second felt like it was leading to a moment that could change everything or shatter her fragile world completely. Mia hesitated as Daniel held out the envelope. Her fingers trembled as she reached for it, but before she could open it, a voice called from across the playground. It was one of the school administrators, frowning and waving urgently. "Daniel, you can't just." In an instant, the moment shifted. Daniel's confident demeanor faltered for a fraction of a second, and Mia felt a knot of confusion tighten in her stomach. The envelope slipped from her hand, fluttering to the ground like a fragile promise. The administrator's presence wasn't just an interruption, it was a warning. Someone was watching, someone who didn't want Mia to receive the chance of a lifetime. Suddenly, whispers turned into questions. A rumor had reached the principal, a wealthy outsider intervening in a student's life. Might not have purely good intentions. Daniel's face tightened, the calm patience replaced by a flicker of urgency. Mia realized that this opportunity, which had seemed so simple and magical, now carried unexpected complications. And then, a shadow appeared at the edge of the playground, a familiar face from Daniel's world. Someone Mia didn't recognize, whose presence radiated tension. Was this person there to help or to stop what Daniel had planned? In that moment, Mia's heart raced faster than ever. Her life was on the brink of transformation, but the path forward had just become far more dangerous and uncertain. The shadow at the edge of the playground stepped forward, and Mia's breath caught. It was a woman in a sharp suit, her expression unreadable, eyes fixed on Daniel. "We need to talk," she said firmly. Daniel nodded, exchanging a tense glance with Mia, but then he crouched back down and smiled at her, trying to calm her racing heart. "Go on," he whispered. "Open it." With shaking hands, Mia unfolded the envelope. Inside was a letter and a small scholarship certificate, offering her a place in an elite art program, a chance to develop her talent in ways she had only dreamed about. Tears sprang to her eyes as the weight of possibility sank in. This was the moment that could change everything, the moment she had been waiting for. But before she could speak, Daniel's phone buzzed. He read the message, and his face paled. The woman beside him had just revealed that another billionaire investor had plans to claim Mia's scholarship opportunity for themselves, threatening to pull her out before she even started. Daniel's calm assurance returned, but now with a spark of determination, he turned to Mia. "They won't stop you," he said. "Not if we fight together." Mia's world had shifted completely, her dreams within reach. Yet the challenge was far from over, and just as she took a deep breath, the final twist struck. The woman who had appeared to threaten them stepped aside, smiling unexpectedly. She was there to guide Mia, not block her, revealing that even in moments of doubt, allies can appear in the most surprising forms. Mia's eyes widened as the woman stepped forward, extending a hand in friendship instead of opposition. Daniel nodded reassuringly, and for the first time, Mia felt a sense of safety and possibility she had never known. The scholarship was hers, and the program promised mentors who would nurture her talent, guiding her steps toward a future she had only dared to imagine in secret. Over the next weeks, Mia's life began to change in small but powerful ways. Her mother, relieved and overjoyed, could finally see her daughter thriving. The whispers at school faded as classmates watched Mia blossom with confidence and creativity, turning envy into admiration. Even the jealous students began to see her not as someone to compete with, but as an example of what kindness, talent, and opportunity could create. Daniel continued to check in, offering guidance but never overshadowing Mia's own efforts. The mysterious woman, whose help had appeared at the perfect moment, became a mentor, showing Mia how to navigate challenges without fear. By the time the art program officially began, Mia stood tall, a little girl who had once sat alone at the school gate, now filled with hope, courage, and ambition. Her life had been changed not just by opportunity, but by people who believed in her when no one else did, a lesson she would carry forever.